Hi, Mark Diaz here for 2danimation101.com. In this lesson, I will show you how to do advanced facial animation using the face key editor. Let me select the character. This one, the face key editor. This allows you to create customized expressions. You are already familiar with how animation works. You know how to animate using keyframes and move things around, right? Well, in this lesson, I will show you how to have full control of the face of the character in this interface. I won't be animating, like I said, you already know how to do that, but I will teach you how you can have full control of the face of your characters and know exactly where each keyframe you create goes, okay? Okay, let's get it started. First, let me show you what I did. This was a custom facial animation I did for this character. Check it out.
What? 11 years of pain and effort? That sounds really bad.
It is really bad.
Okay, for this, let me, I'm going to zoom in, but I know I have the rec on, so let me disable it. For this, if I had chosen to do the animation using the face puppet tool, it would have taken me about maybe 3 minutes, right? But because I decided to test everything here in the face key editor, I invested around 1 hour to animate the face. 1 hour against 3 minutes. So if you check the animation, the complete animation, and you see this scene where I use the custom animation, right? The custom facial animation, and you compare it with the others, and you say, hey, I don't notice much difference, then you should use the face puppet, okay? Because it's faster, it's way faster. And if you don't notice a big difference, then why bother investing too much time, right? But anyway, in case you do notice the difference, oh my God, this animation has more quality in the expressions of the eyes and everything, right? The eyebrows, when he gets like this. If you want that kind of control, I'm going to show you, but be aware, it takes time because you have to animate each part of the face separately. Okay, now let's see what part of this interface is shown in what part of the timeline, right? Everything we do here will be adding keyframes in the timeline. First things first, let me close this. If I have this character selected and I press face, I will have 3 things. I have the voice clip, facial clip, and face motion, right? Voice clip will have all the keyframes of your lip sync. We won't be using it here. And in this lesson, we are going to check these two. Remember in the last lesson, we used the face puppet? Well, the face puppet shows up in the facial clip, okay? If you're using the face puppet and you want your character to not change the eyes, for example, well, you can go right here in the facial clip and modify that. Anyway, let's focus in this lesson on the face key editor, okay? For this, I'm going to create a new document and then import this character. And now let's use, let me go backstage. And now let me show you. I select the character, then press Ctrl K, and look, I show the timeline, the face, and look, I have the facial clip and face motion right here in the timeline. Now you see there are 4 tabs at the top of the face key editor, right? Morph, template, transform, and deform. I'm gonna show you where you find the keyframes you create for those. Morph is going to be affecting the facial clip. This is going to be inside the facial clip. Okay, let me open it. Let me show you. I have this character right here. Press Ctrl K, and then let's say I want to move this eyebrow, right? I move it up. You see? I move the eyebrow up, and that added a keyframe right here. Then I move to frame 30, and then I move this eyebrow down. I just click and drag down, right? And then I'm gonna lift. Let me click, then click here and put it up, and maybe click on this eye and deselect the eyebrow, and now move this eye to this place. You see, I'm adding keyframes right here. Everything I do here is adding keyframes because I move the eyes add in the eye. Now, if I rotate, this adds on the head. So you see, if you move parts of the face, you will add face, then the eyes, and then the head is whatever you do with these two tools. Okay? So again, morph is shown, actually these two, morph and template, are shown in the facial clip. Okay? And those two, transform and deform, are shown, let me expand the timeline a little bit. Transform and deform will be shown in the face motion, okay? Let's move to template. I'm gonna undo all of that. If I go to template, I can add very, very quick emotions. I can choose happy, right? And that adds, remember, template adds in facial clip. So it added a keyframe here. And then I can move to frame 10 and make him angry, right? And use this one. No, maybe I like this one, number 4. You see? And now we have a little animation here. Let me move from that face to the other. Okay? So again, template, both template and morph, add keyframes to face clip. Where? In the face filter, the face tab, okay? Now let's check transform. I'm going to delete this clip, just select it and delete it. And transform and deform won't be adding any keyframes here. The facial clip is not going to be affected. And the face motion will be showing the keyframes of each part of the face individually, okay? For example, I can click here. For when you are working with these two, for transform and deform, I suggest you set up the timeline. Just like when we were doing the motion, remember? When you are editing these two and you're working with face motion, I suggest setting the timeline. For that, I double click on the timeline like this, and then face motion, and I'm going to select all of them. And then I'm going to show also face transform and deform, okay? And now let me double click. I have it set up, and I'm going to hide the facial clip. We don't need it. Now let me explain a little bit here. Let me show you, I go to frame 10. Look, when I move the mouth to this place, for example, and I can rotate it, look what happened. It added a transform that is carrying, remember, when you are using the face transform, will be affecting every single row that has a T. Actually, let me open this, and I'm going to hide the ones that have S. I'm going to only leave transform and deform. Really quick. There. Okay, now I only have deform and transform. Whenever I change transformation, I will have a keyframe that is grouping every single other row that has a T. Remember, T stands for transform. And D, all the rows that have a D will be affected by face deform, by the keyframes here, okay? For example, right now I moved the mouth from this place, from frame 1 to frame 10. You see? Where is that keyframe? Right here in the mouth transformation. In this same time, I can also take this eye and put it like this, then take this eye. I'm just clicking and dragging the eyes and maybe make them bigger like this. He's going a little bit wacky, like ooh. And maybe put the eyebrows like this. And let's see, all those movements added keyframes in here. You see, I have now keyframes for the eyes, the mouth, the brows, right? And everything is grouped together in here. So I can, if I want to add transition curves, I can just right click and you don't see it, it's below your screen, but I choose transition curve and I can select smooth. You see? And now I can take this, hold control, and now I have a little animation. He goes, woo. You see? And that's how you can animate. That's using, let me select the character, press Ctrl K. That's using transform. Okay? Transform shows where? In face motion. Whoops, face motion right here. And also you can change the form. You can choose the form. Check this out. This is a very, very cool feature. If I do something to the left brow, I just clicked on it and it's selected here in the timeline. If I do something to those points, it's going to add a keyframe right here. Where? In the left brow, D, which stands for deform. D stands for deform. Okay? Let me prove it to you. I'm going to start moving this around, and there, I got a keyframe. This keyframe represents all of that. You see, this is super advanced. You can form, you can deform any part of the face any way you like. You see? He can be a little bit sad like this. And also I can take this eye and do the same. You see? Let me do the same to the other eye because he looks like he's on drugs, right? Let me choose this one. And maybe also the mouth. You see? And all of that was created right here. And if I want to change the transition, I can change it right here. Just right click, select transition curve, and then choose smooth. You see, now he's sad. Okay? So that's it. Let me give you a quick review of this lesson. When you're using the face puppet, all the keyframes will be recorded right here in face and inside facial clip. Okay? When you're using the face key editor, you will be adding keyframes on both the facial clip and face motion. And these two, motion and template, will add keyframes to facial clip, right? And deform, actually deform and transform, those two will be adding keyframes to face motion. Transform will affect all the keyframes that have a T, and deform will be affecting all the keyframes that have a D. Okay? Right on. Now you know how you can create your own custom facial animations using the key editor. Now in the next lesson, we will be doing some lip sync using the auto lip sync feature. See you in the next lesson.